Okay, what's up? So in this video, I'm gonna be sharing with you a few steps and a few things you can take to awaken your consciousness. So step number one is to set an intention daily when you wake up in the morning. The first thing is you set an intention to seek the truth. Just set an intention to seek the truth, to connect to the truth. Same thing when you go to bed. Set an intention to seek the truth and to awaken your consciousness. Because when you put it out in the universe, as you I'm sure have heard somewhere, is that you attract that. The universe is listening to you all the time of what you say. So when you start to become aware of what you say and of what you think, the universe eventually will deliver. Step number two is question everything. So it starts early on in your childhood, in your school, of what you're being taught, by your parents, that you have to work and you have to potentially have a job just to support yourself, or go to college or university to secure yourself and have a family and X, Y, and Z, and just really ask yourself, why do I need to go to college and learn this, and what is this information I'm learning, how is this benefiting, and how do I know this is actually the truth? How do we know that there's potentially not other modalities out there, how to heal ourselves, how to become successful? Maybe that's not the right way. Also question your religion, question the Christianity, question Catholic, question the Bible. Like, okay, who wrote this book? And how do we know that this book says this is everything our existence is all about, and there may be some truth to there, but how do we know nobody went back, nobody changed words to their benefit to have people believe in a certain way and go to church, and let's just say the church somehow benefits and gets financial gains? How do we know that wasn't altered so it benefits them? So really question everything. And I question also God. What is God? Is it a guy in heaven? Like, how do we know? Or is Jesus Christ God? Or is Jesus Christ potentially maybe just the consciousness, which is embodying a loving consciousness? And who says that we can achieve this state of consciousness, the Christ consciousness? How do we know that that's not the case? And how do we know that Jesus Christ, some people call them God or God's Son, and maybe why are we not God's Son? If everyone is equal, if every living organism is potentially God, like, how do we know that's not the case? How do we know we all are one and we all share the same consciousness? We're all living in the same consciousness, but it's up to us to be aware that we are living in the same consciousness and we all have access to this same information. We just have to learn and find our way to this information, so now then we can embody it. So another step is also to become aware of what you're thinking, of what you're saying. If you say, oh, I don't feel good, I'm sick, and I feel tired, and this and that, when you are constantly saying it, it's almost like a mantra, like an affirmation, right? Or I don't have any money, la la la. It's almost this affirmation that you feel poor, that you are poor, that you feel weak, that you are weak, or X, Y, and Z. The universe delivers this to you in terms of feelings, as a feedback mechanism. You receive the feeling of your words. So be very aware. Also be aware of what you're thinking. Meaning, if you're truly aware, that means, okay, essentially, you react to your thoughts, right? So you have to be aware, because you can choose your own thoughts. I can think about a pink elephant walking in a driveway in McDonald's. I can think about that, and I can engage into that thought, or I can think about how miserable my life is and how unhappy I am, right? So those are thoughts which can cross our mind, and we can also react to those thoughts. So be very aware of what thoughts you are reacting to. So step number 3 is listen to new perspectives with an open mind. That could be in the form of religion. Let's say you're being brought up as a Christianity or Mormon or Catholic or you're Muslim, and just listen with an open mind, and with an unconditioned mind. What I mean by that is, imagine you were not being taught this by your parents, by your friends, by this book, and you accepted this belief already. Just always have an open mind to new perspectives and contemplate creatively and think about this if this other alternatives also make sense. And you can kind of tap into your feeling. For example, if I say we are all one, we are all God, essentially we share the same consciousness, we are all living beings, every living organisms, the plants, the animals, the human beings are all one. We come from the same field, and it's just the level of awareness we have, and we can create everything. We are essentially God. Potentially contemplate of that truth, for example. Also, another way to expand your consciousness and seek new perspectives if you're stuck and you don't know what to look for is you can go on YouTube. You could, for example, type in how to expand consciousness. What is consciousness? Just study the science of consciousness. Listen to different perspectives, because a lot of people get stuck somewhere because they think they're so smart, they studied and they should know everything. No, the reality is that we don't know anything. And everything is always evolving, always changing. So remember this, nobody knows everything. No one, I don't care who it is. You can also go on YouTube, for example, and you type in Joe Dispenza or Gregg Braden or Graham Hancock or Bruce Lipton, or there's another platform, a conscious Netflix, so to say. It's called Gaia.com. So if you just digging into that information, I think that's a very good start for you to expand your consciousness and get new perspectives into your lives of what potentially could be true as well. Step number 4 is working with alternative medicines, such as plant medicines, such as psychedelic medicines in ceremonial ways. Like a good entry into this realm, if you want to expand your consciousness, is you could start working with mushrooms by yourself and in nature, and not just recreationally with around other people. Because if you want to form a relationship with this sacred medicine, which changes your perception completely, you want to be by yourself, see how you feel, and see how you feel when you take certain doses of, let's say, these mushrooms, how it changes your thinking. Because these mushrooms have a great way of feeding back your emotions and your thought patterns. Maybe learn how to disassociate yourself from your thoughts. Maybe not to engage in your thoughts. I know it sounds easier than it is done, but remember, if you just have this mantra that I'm pure awareness, I have the choice, and if you remember that you are pure awareness and you have the choice to either engage with those thoughts or not, and you remember that before you react to this thought, and these thoughts lead you down a certain pattern, it could be negative thought patterns, and all of a sudden you start to feel uncomfortable, and just because you start thinking about those thoughts, right? And when you work with these psychedelics, you're extremely sensitive to thoughts, so you have to be very aware of your thoughts and what you're thinking. So if you're having a rough experience, of an uncomfortable experience, of bad experiences and discomfort and pain or this and that, it's only because your mind and your thoughts aren't healthy, right? So whatever your experience is, take it as a lesson for you to learn with it, of maybe, let's say you're doing it in a certain environment, of next time you're doing it again, don't do it in this environment. Don't do it around people, right? Because people or certain music or certain frequencies changes your experience completely. So you want to be in a safe environment when you work with those medicines, nature by yourself, and you can, choose calming music or something which relaxes you, or no music. It's totally up to you, but learn how to create a safe container where you can connect with God, a different consciousness essentially, and get your downloads in. Because from my experience, I've seen a lot of people who started working with especially mushrooms early on, and even before their 20s, and some even doing their 20s, and they are now in their 30s, and they have come so far. They have such a good understanding of life, and they're taking action, and they are expanding their consciousness because of these psychedelic medicines. And another one, which is a more aggressive one, more healing medicines, is ayahuasca. You can learn how to work with ayahuasca, not by yourself, definitely not the first time, because it's a lot more potent, and you're exposing yourself to a completely new dimension. And it's very important that you find somebody you fully trust, you would trust with your life. So it depends on your judgment of character if you trust this person with your life, essentially. Like there's Brazilian traditions, there's Peruvian traditions, but it's more important who you sit with. That's for people who have a lot of trauma, who don't know any further, but they want to expand their consciousness, and they want to heal from all the pain they have in their life, and they've tried so many other things, and they have addictive patterns, and they just can't break free. You do it in a ceremonial way with a shaman or somebody, a facilitator who knows how to hold space. But it's very important that this facilitator you're looking at has a very pure and divine energy around them, meaning they're true to themselves. They have great habits, right? It's not like they know a lot, it's more about their habits and their energy. If you feel happy and calm around them, or if you feel a little aggravated. So those are signs how you want to choose your facilitator. So yeah, so that was my 4 steps essentially, or 5 steps of how to awaken your consciousness. And depending where you are in your life and how you are, and you want to truly succeed in life beyond financially, because once you reach financial freedom, you start questioning everything. You start to question what actually brings me joy. What can I do with this money, right? What can I do with it? How can I have fun? So now you're redefining your terms of fun, right? For some people, it's getting numb, drinking alcohol, taking prescription drugs, partying, having sex with different partners constantly. And I can tell you from my experience that it's draining and it's not fulfilling, and you can see the people who are unconscious and starting to become now more conscious, that they've done this for 10 or 15 years and they are unhappy. Just pay attention. So maybe that's not the way what you're being portrayed, just because it's very energy taking, right? Oh, look at this, and we're partying and this and that. It lures you into the illusion that is the most fun there is. But let me tell you, I'm 33, and I can tell you there's no fucking way that this is the most fun. And I used to party at the Playboy Mansion with these beautiful women, and I thought this is what life has to offer, and this is amazing. And I felt so happy around these beautiful women, but it's because I didn't know any better, right? It could be fun, getting excited, but I didn't realize that there was a lack of purpose. So then eventually, to become truly happy, you want to find a life's purpose of how to help other human beings, or this planet we are living on, we are guests on, right? We have to become very clear, because life purpose is all about evolution and growth. Just remember this, think about this. Your life's purpose is about evolution and growth. That you learn from wise souls. Who's wise? From happy souls, from people who are living a fulfilled life. So if you're searching anything, pay attention to the people who are living a really fulfilling life. And you can see in their facial expression, right? You can see they're laughing and smiling. They have wisdom to share, and they're connected to the earth, to the planet, and they're not being unconscious beings and just polluting the environment and yelling and have anger issues and have absolutely no control over their emotions. And just think about this, right? Like, not to offend anybody, but for example, like fighting in general, I see a lot of people on like influencer wise now, they're just fighting each other. And fighting and violence, it's such a low frequency, right? Like healing, laughing, smiling, like that's a higher frequency. Joy, love. Are you able to embody that? Or do you want to be surrounded by that, which is our natural state? Peace, love, and joy. Maybe you want to follow those people who are living that life in terms of other people who are looking for that, essentially happiness and joy, but they're actually numbing themselves, because I can tell you, all they want to do is find love, peace, and joy in their life. And I know people with millions of dollars who would give up everything to feel happy and joyous. So if you're young and you have the spirit of happiness and joy and beauty inside of you, and you're just getting dragged down of your surroundings, it's time for you to take action, right? If you have the wrong environment, maybe you want to start thinking, okay, I'll do this for 1 more year, save a little bit of money, and then I'm getting the fuck out, I'm leaving this country. Don't think about like, oh, papers. If you really want to change your life, you just pack your bags and you leave, right? And you trust that you figure it out wherever you are in your life, and wherever you are also location-wise. Trust yourself that you will figure it out, and that you change your environment, and you follow people you find on YouTube or things you resonate with. You study this and see how you can apply it to your life in order to grow. Just keep searching, and remember, set the intention to seek the truth. So with that, I hope you learned something in this video. And I'd love to hear from you in the comments of what you're doing, of where you are in your life, and if you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up as well. It helps the algorithm so I can share some more wisdom in my life. So peace and have a wonderful day. Mwah!